everyone, welcome to our Learn Calligraphy in Quarantine series. We hope to have everyone try to do the basic strokes and lowercase alphabet using 4 different writing materials that you can find at home. For this video, we'll be using the classic pencil in filling out our basic strokes free worksheets, and the link is down below. So to prepare your pencil, just lightly, or not really lightly, but just flatten out one side of your pencil, because I don't have a sharpener, so this is what I do, but you can also use a sharpener and make your life easier. So once your pencil is prepared, hold it with the pointy side on top. There we go. And we'll start with our basic strokes, starting with an upstroke and a downstroke. So I'll be writing on a piece of paper because you can already follow the worksheets here following the arrows. So I'll be using one space for my basic stroke. So let's start with an upstroke. An upstroke starts on the bottom and then going up. So I'll just make 3 light upstrokes. So using the tip of my pencil, I will lightly write a thin line going up. So that's an upstroke. Downstrokes, on the other hand, is holding the pencil the exact same way. I press down and put more pressure on my writing material. So do you see there's a difference in the thickness and thinness? So what you can do as a warm-up for using pencils is write squiggly lines, alternating thin and thick lines, so you get a feel of writing calligraphy with a pencil. So we're done with the upstrokes and downstrokes. Let's work on our underturns. Underturns are thick downstrokes and then thin upstrokes. So let's do that. Thick and then up. So this one was a bit too fat. Let's try again. Thick downstrokes and then thin upstrokes. So by the time you reach the 3/4 mark, try to let go of your pressure and start preparing for your transition to go up. Let's do that one more time. There we go. Now let's go on to our overturns. So overturns are thin upstrokes ending with a thick downstroke. So let's practice that on my paper. This was a bit too thick also. So when you're making your basic strokes, make sure that the width are the same, especially with overturns and underturns, because they are mirror opposites of each other. So again, when you reach this 3/4 point, that's when you can put more pressure, because that's where the transition ends. So that's our overturn. Now for the compound curve, it's a combination of your overturn and underturns. So it's a thin up, thick down, and then thin up again. Let's try that on my paper. Thin up, thick down, and then thin up again. Make sure that the spacing in between are equal. So let's try that one more time. There you go. That's a compound curve. Our next basic stroke is called ovals, so I like to call them penguin eggs. So these penguin eggs are a little bit tricky, but with enough practice, you can also do them smoothly. So starting in the 3/4 line, you have a short upstroke and then a thick downstroke and then another upstroke connecting to your starting point. Let's try that on my paper. Let's try that again. There you go. When you're making your ovals, make sure that your thick downstroke does not go beyond the center line, and that the right side is a pure light line, and then the left side is a thick downstroke. So that's an oval. Now you're down to your last 2 basic strokes, ascending and descending loops. So we'll be using 2 lines for those. So let's start with our ascending loop. It starts here in the X height. It goes up and then down to a downstroke. So that's our ascending loops. Our descending loops start at the same line but they go down and then up, ending in our baseline. So those are our ascending and descending loops. Let's try to make all of our basic strokes using this pencil. So we learned upstrokes, downstrokes, underturns, overturns, compound curves, and lastly we learned ovals. So practice this again and again and again until you get very consistent basic strokes, and then that's the only time you can get started on learning or making your alphabet look more consistent. So start with the basics and then everything follows. So that has been our video using a pencil, working on our basic strokes worksheets. If you want to watch the other videos, feel free to check our playlist on Learn Calligraphy in Quarantine. Thanks so much. Bye!